Alright, so for better or worse, FacePunch has decided that they needed to change how we interact with items that cook other items. So furnaces, barbecues, barrels, all of these other things that are already in game. As you well know, they've completely changed the UI. Now I know the community is going to be completely split on this. Some of you are going to love this. Some of you absolutely hate it and are waiting for a developer to come up with a solution to make it look like it used to. And thanks to Whispers88, that day is today. Hey everyone, welcome back to Rust Admin Academy, where I teach you everything you need to know about owning and operating a successful Rust server. Plus I want to show you all of the different tools that make your life just a little bit easier. So if you're brand new to the channel, consider subscribing so that you stay up to date on everything that we're working on. And if you take any value out of this video, make sure you leave a like on it. As you well know, it helps with the YouTube algorithm, making it so that YouTube will show my videos to other people as well. All right, so head on over to CodeFling.com, search up OGFurnace, or click on the link in the video description down below. You'll notice that it is an affiliate link, which means I do get paid a commission if you do happen to buy this plugin. And for the $5 that it costs for this plugin, just the fact that we can roll back to the old UI system is probably value enough for this plugin. However, Whispers88 has taken OGFurnace just one step further, allowing us to customize how many slots are available in each cooking item. You'll see what I mean in just 1 minute. All right, so just quickly going over the documentation, there's not a whole lot you need to know. There's no permissions, there's no commands, there's no nothing. It's all done with a configuration file. This is quite simply a drag and drop plugin. You drop it into your plugins folder and it's good to go. Having a look at the configuration file, it gives you all of the different items within the game that allows you to cook different items, whether that's food or whatever. And I would say what he's done here is he's tried to get it back to, yeah, it looks pretty similar to what it used to be before this new UI change. So just by default, right out of the box, this should feel about the same as it did before the September update. All right, so this is probably what you're used to seeing right now. This is how the UI is set up on any of the different cooking devices, whether that be the large furnace, the small furnace, the campfire, doesn't matter. But as soon as we load the plugin, this is now what your interface is going to look like. So it looks fairly similar to what it used to look like, and the functionality is exactly the same as it was before. All right, so while I'm thinking about it, you would think because we're going back to the old UI system that the furnace splitter that broke since this update would now start working again on this plugin. I haven't actually tested this for myself. However, if you look at the documentation, it does say accessible splitter API. So I think what that means is Whispers has set it up so that this will work with Furnace Splitter, but I haven't tested it to make sure that it does. So now with OGFurnace installed on the server, now of course it looks like it used to before. The buttons are a little bit different than they used to be, but this is not native. And now of course we can treat it just like we did before, and we can do our stacks however we want to do them. And while that is cool, there's more to this plugin which makes it just a little bit better than the cooking system was before this update. So if we head into our configuration file for OGFurnace, you of course can see that we can change the number of slots that are available in each oven available. So I'm obviously not going to go through and change each one of these. I'm just going to change the one that I happen to be dealing with on this video. So that is the furnace.large, and its default set to 18 slots. So let's just change this up to 48 slots, save and reload the plugin, and let's go back in game. And of course, now once we go into our large furnace, we should have 48 slots just like that. So now we can treat it just like we did with the 18 slots that was there before, but now of course we have 48 slots that we can now utilize for cooking items in. As many of you might already know, once this update actually came live from FacePunch, it was a little bit more cumbersome to actually set up like charcoal farms and stuff like that. Well, now with this plugin, we can create our charcoal farms and we can make them even better than they were before. I'm not going to lie, with all 48 slots filled up with ore, this looks really badass. It also has a little bit of an OP feel to it. So you definitely want to be careful with your balance here, because not only would people be able to smelt things faster because they can use more slots out of a single oven, they can also be using these as storage locations inside of their base. So a good example of what I mean there is we could go into the configuration file and we can change the number of slots in the barbecue up to 48. And then of course we can store our loot inside of our barbecue as well, and we would still be able to have enough room left in there to actually be cooking things as well. So it just opens up a bit of a creative corridor where we can change things up on our server. Plus it allows us to roll back the UI system that we had on all of our ovens before. Like I said at the beginning of this video, some of you are going to hate this, some of you are absolutely going to love this idea. I'm normally the type of person that just accepts whatever FacePunch does to the game, because seriously, they're the developers of the game. They get to decide, and they actually take the voices of the community to come up with the decisions that they make. So normally once they make a decision, I just force myself to be okay with it. However, this furnace UI change that they made, I've been struggling with it ever since launch. So I am really glad that Whispers88 did come up with a solution for me. I've also just recently been informed that there's another version of this plugin on Lone.design that isn't developed by Whispers88. That's okay. Whichever one you prefer to use, that's totally fine. But if you want to support Whispers88 and CodeFling as well as myself, make sure you use the link in the video description down below. It's going to take you directly to this page using my referral link. If you want to check out another really great plugin by Whispers88 to check out the kind of quality that he actually puts into his plugins, make sure you check out this link up here. I actually use Skinner on my own server and I absolutely love it. I actually find myself using those commands a lot more than I used to use the old Skin plugins. And of course, if you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next week.